Chloe, how are you?
I am good, thanks to you.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thank you very much for coming onto the podcast today.
No, you're welcome. Thanks for asking me.
Yeah, obviously you reached out on LinkedIn. I've seen a few of your posts, always seem to be quite liked. Lots of fun things going on. So, yeah, just wanted to, I think we'll start with just to ask you where you grew up and how it is you got into welding.
Okay, so I'm from Stoke-on-Trent, Staffordshire, and it was really random how I got into it. So no one in my family is a welder, and I didn't go to college at first for it. I found myself um, in a warehouse picking and packing, and they were short for welders. So being the person that I am, I was like, that looks a bit dangerous. Will you let me have a go? And I was all right at it, but I didn't understand what I was doing. So I was going to put myself on an evening course just to get like the basic idea of how things were working because it's quite sciencey, and I was no good at that at school. Um, and my boss at the time said they would put me on an apprenticeship. So yeah, it all started from there, really.
Did you find yourself being more hands-on in school as opposed to academic, or?
Yeah, I found myself breaking stuff a lot. I was like quite a tomboy, so I was climbing a tree and just doing laddish things more than anything. But yeah, I've never really kind of done the thing that is seemed normal to male and female and stuff. But that's like what you do when you grow up. You figure out what you like, what you don't like. Um, but yeah, it's the best decision I've made.
So what type of welding was you doing for your first attempt then?
So I was MIG welding at first.
Right.
I was making exhaust. So I was started off on the finished material that I've worked on. It was like zero point 0.8 mild steel. Some of it was stainless as well. So that really made me learn about gravity
Yeah.
because I had to like spin the exhaust. Obviously, it's a circle. So, um, but yeah, it was really really good. I really enjoyed doing that. So.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your apprenticeship then. How did that go?
Really good. I found out when they put me on the apprenticeship, I had to go to college at Stoke-on-Trent, and I was the first female that they trained as a welder, a welding apprentice, and it did put a bit of pressure on me, to be honest, because I thought, why am I the first female to do this? Like it's 2017, like surely there should be some kind of equality going on now. But I won STEM Apprentice of the Year while I was there, so that was like gaining confidence for me a bit. Um, but yeah, and it just pushed me a bit to talk about what I'm doing and how there's so much room for other young females to come into the trade, like into the STEM industry. Like I'm a trained hairdresser and a carer, and I would have never thought about doing anything like this if I hadn't have like found myself in that job at the time. So I think like work experience is pretty important to do something a bit different, which I know they don't do anymore. I know that schools don't sort that out for kids, which is ridiculous, to be honest with you. How do you know what you want to do unless you've tried it? Like,
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, maybe schools don't push apprenticeships enough either, because it's never something I remember kind of being pushed my way. Everything was go to university. It was never, and it wasn't until I went to college and sort of fell into welding that I sort of really enjoyed that then.
yeah, it's a shame.
So tell me a little bit about STEM Apprentice of the Year. How's that?
That was really good. I thought it was a joke. I never won anything like or be praised for anything really. Like in my teenage years at school, I was always in trouble. But I find that you're being in trouble for things that are your greatest asset, but teachers don't like that. But yeah, I mean, it's very mainstream, the things that you get taught in school. It doesn't really prepare you for outside. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was the oldest person on the in the class because I was just 22, I think, when I'd started welding. And then obviously all the lads, they were like 17, 18. Some of them had done the level two beforehand because I went straight on to level three. I had to like do a couple of extra things to prove I had the mentality to do the course because I mean I understand because I had no experience, I had no background in it before, but on a couple of the tests that I did, I got the highest mark. So that was
Yeah,
like
which is always good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, proper chuffed.
So obviously, as you said, it's kind of a male-dominated environment then. How was that in college? Did you kind of get along with everyone or?
Yeah, I did. I'm quite. I don't know how to explain it. I'd say confident, but obviously there's some areas that I'm not confident in. But I'm just. I've got a mouth and I'll use it. Like there's nothing that
Yeah.
really bothers me. If you don't get, you don't like. If you don't ask, you don't get. So that's how I see it, really. But yeah, no, I think I was the scarier one, to be honest. Like no one had really bothered me when I was at college. But yeah, lovely lads. The teacher took a bit more time with me as well because there's a female there. Like
Yeah.
I'm lost or something. But no, it was really good. Really enjoyed it.
And what about sort of the academic side of things? How did you find that?
Um, I struggled a little bit. I'm better like physically doing stuff than I am
Yeah.
sitting down and writing something. But like I say, I did all right. I got the top marks in a couple of tests that I did. Um, but yeah, it's just your determination, really. I really wanted it, and I wanted to prove that I could do it, and I was supposed to be there. So instead of going out or whatever, I'd be like at home doing my homework and
Yeah.
researching things. But it's really interesting. So it didn't seem like it was like a chore or like, oh, you've got to do this. Like I wanted to do it.
Yeah, look, if you put your mind to things, you can achieve what you want as well. There's nothing stopping you if you really want something, is there?
Yeah, only yourself. Like you'll talk
Yeah.
yourself out of doing things.
I remember kind of missing so many weekends and things when I was younger, and I'd be in working, and the boys would be out and going to festivals and going on holidays. Now kind of be stuck in working long hours, but it is worth it in the end, isn't it? Once you get to that end goal that you have set.
Yeah, it's important what you think. And if you're proud of yourself for doing what you've done, then you're winning. Like, do you know what I mean? You can go out and make some mistakes on the weekend and waste your money and stuff, or actually do something for your life and your future. So,
Yeah, exactly. So tell me a little bit about the company that put you through your apprenticeship then. How's that?
well, they're not open anymore, to be honest.
Um,
But yeah, it was an exhaust company, and the boss, like the director at the time, um, he he was the one that said about putting me on an apprenticeship, and I'll always credit him. And then the boss as well at the time, they really helped me a lot. Like I say, I did struggle with a few like academic things, but the physical stuff I could do, that was fine. But yeah, they did allow me a bit of time to, like peck the heads and question them about stuff. But it's quite funny, really. I'd gone on holiday. I came back and my boss had left, and he was the one that was like helping me.
yeah,
So I made the choice to move companies to where I'm at now, like halfway through my apprenticeship. So that was really scary, but I thought I've already done something scary by starting something I had no idea about. So I can either stay there and possibly not do as well as I could have done with a bit of extra help. So yeah, I've been working at Alpha Manufacturing now for it'll be 4 years this year. I've finished my apprenticeship. I was supposed to do it like 6 months before my finish date, but obviously COVID came around and
yeah.
stopped everything. But yeah, really enjoyed my time.
Okay, so what type of work are you doing there currently then? Welding and fabricating, is it?
Yeah, so currently it's very secretive. That's why I can't really post anything.
Okay,
I've already been told off about putting some pictures on because we've got non-disclosure agreements in place.
yeah,
Um, it's for the energy sector. I'll tell you what I can.
okay,
It's yeah for the energy sector, and I'm working on nickel, and then it'd be titanium. Really interesting. I'm learning so much. It's more TIG welding. Do a little bit of fabrication too, but it's just the procedures in place. Like you can't be doing anything wrong at all. You have to do everything that your SOP says,
yeah,
which makes me learn a lot as well. And everything, absolutely everything, has to be purged, so
yeah,
there can't be any colour on anything. Um, so yeah, it's just making me really like take a step back and just check all my preparations and everything. But yeah, if it's not challenging you or giving you a bit of headache, it's not worth it. Like you need to be, I wouldn't say struggling, but out your comfort zone a little bit, and that's what I love. So
Yeah, look, it's great. And obviously, especially when you start welding new materials and different things, it's kind of like starting all over again, isn't it? It's like kind of
Yeah.
being excited to learn something new and to move on. So,
I haven't got any codings at the moment, but that
okay,
there some talks are in place. We do
yeah,
have the other company coming in. We've had some of their welders come in and show us like step by step through the jobs and stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, no codings just yet. But that is something that I'm aiming to get.
Yeah, of course. Look, it's good to sort of challenge yourself and set yourself targets because it gives you something to aim for then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So is most of your work sort of based in the workshop on site or
Yeah, so it's a new factory. They opened it at the end of last year. So it's a proper new factory, purely just for this project what we've got going on. And then at the other side, that's where I've got my container, so my little workshop. I haven't been there in there as much as I'd like to be just recently. Lots of things going on, like life happens and stuff.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I've got like an endless list of things that I want to do and certain things that people want off me. So I need to give myself a kick and get back over there doing some
I know, but have
bits.
you done much sort of MIG and stick as well? A little bit of everything or
I've not done much stick, but I've got the main experience in MIG welding. I did my first job making exhaust. That was all MIG welding. That was for almost 2 years, and then I'd been in a MIG bay for the majority of my time at Alpha. I did do a little bit of stainless steel and aluminium work. I've done an aluminium course as well,
no?
um, which was really fun. I do like Ali. It's such a soft material. It's really nice to work with. I've been doing a bit of that today. And yesterday, to be honest. But I get it. I do get some nice beads. I've just put a picture on my Instagram, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Today. But
It just
yeah,
has to be very clean, doesn't it?
oh, it's clean. It's clean.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Good. Yeah, for me personally, I always found stick the hardest to pick up, especially when I was an apprentice. I really struggled because I was always using TIG welding, but then when I finished my apprenticeship and moved on and kind of had chance to use it, you do kind of pick it up after a while, and it just takes a little bit of time, that's all.
The first time I had a go of it, I couldn't. I'd get it to stick like it'd stick, and then I just couldn't get it off, and my
Yeah.
temper got the better of me, and I was just like trying to get like rip it off everywhere. But no, I haven't touched it since, which is probably something that I should do, to be honest with you. So
Yeah, kind
mm.
of same. We did a little bit of stick in college, but then I didn't really use it much through my apprenticeship. So it was kind of just difficult when you're not using the process to kind of pick it up and keep using it then, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so tell me a little bit. I see you working with apprentices at the moment, or you
yeah,
have been working with apprentices.
yeah. Previously, I have. I love it. Um, it's just like watching them grow from even a couple of hours, like what they didn't know before, to what they know like later on in the day. And they're always dead proud, like, and I just love it because I just picture myself like a few years ago. That was me. Um, but yeah, they have to do a bit of time in every area of the company, which I think is really good because that's kind of like work experience while you're on an apprenticeship. Like you get a little bit of info from everywhere, and then you can kind of apply and choose what you want to do at the end of it. But yeah, any of the girls, I tell them send them my way. I'll help them any questions they've got. I just want to kind of empower them, and because we are like outnumbered, for now. But I'm just hoping that the more that girls will talk about the industry and how fun it is and how inclusive it can be, that more of them will join. Because, like I say, I've got a bit of life experience outside doing different jobs, and I'll be a welder for life. I know that.
Yeah, well, hopefully, anybody who's interested can listen to you speak about sort of how you find the industry and how positive it is for you, and hopefully that can help to bring other people in then.
Yeah, definitely. Like the places it's taken me is ridiculous. Um, but you've got to put the work in. Like you go through a lot of time questioning yourself and thinking like, what am I doing? Am I doing this right? Like outside energy can really kind of bring you down as well if you listen to it. Like everyone's got an opinion about what you're doing, but only yours should matter. So it's just being headstrong, really, and just following what you want to do.
Yeah, do you find sort of many women reaching out to you then, sort of on LinkedIn or any other socials that you use?
Yeah, the most recent one, my old head teacher emailed me, asked me if I'd go in, speak to a 15-year-old girl who wants to be a welder. So I was straight down,
Yeah,
and that was when I found out that they didn't do work experience. So I've had a word with the relevant people, and I'm
yeah,
hoping to get her in the next couple of months, just to give her a bit of one-on-one time, show her
yeah.
around a bit, what she'd be getting herself into. Just things that I wish that I'd had, like when I was younger. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want something to change, do it yourself. Like, be the change that you want to see, kind of thing. We all need help somewhere, um, and it's selfish, really, because it does make me feel really good. But I know that I'm helping, like, the other person as well. So
Yeah, look, if you're giving back to them and giving back to the industry, then that's only a positive thing, isn't it?
yeah, I have some men reach out to me as well. One of my favourites was I was getting asked a bit of advice about certain courses and how to get into the industry and stuff, but they weren't from my area. Otherwise, I'd have given him all my old college and training providers like information. But he
Yeah.
went off and he found somewhere. And he come back to me about 6 months later, and he was like, "I just wanted to tell you that I've got onto this. I've done my first few test pieces, and I've passed them." And I was like, it just makes me dead happy. Like, especially when they keep in touch with you and I can see the progress of what they're doing. Like, even if they're just like people from the internet and stuff, it really does make me smile.
Yeah, so obviously you use LinkedIn and you said Instagram is another one you use as well, is it?
Yeah.
So just pictures and videos of your work then mostly, or?
Yeah. I have been thinking about starting my own podcast about experiences and then certain questions from people that I get asked quite a lot. Um, and like maybe doing like what we're doing now, like interviewing other people, and just seeing about how they've been getting on and stuff. Because that's the only way you learn, like from other people. And if you don't talk about it, no one else is going to know. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Kind of with me, I listen to podcasts a lot and I'd look for something that, similar to what I've started and I couldn't find anything. So it was something I'd thought about for a while, and then one day I kind of just made the jump. So you were my fifth episode currently. So still trying to work it out and work out what it's going to look like exactly. But if it can be positive for the industry, and if I can just speak to different people from different backgrounds, welding, NDT, wherever, it's only going to be a positive thing.
yeah, definitely. Someone will find it and and listen to it and take some tips from it. I could ramble on all day, literally. I could, and I think, is there anything worth listening to that I've even said? But clearly there is. Like you do get comments. It might take a while for people to get back to you, but it's a good thing. It's always a good thing talking about it.
Yeah, it's been positive, the reaction I've had as well, because when I put it up on LinkedIn, I thought, oh, probably nobody's going to be interested. And I had so many messages of people who wanted to speak to me and were interested in kind of putting their side of the story across. So hopefully that will be good over the next coming weeks.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to see them back.
Yeah, it's interesting watching them back, sort of, and listening. I've been listening to them kind of on my commute and don't like the sound of my own voice, obviously, but I don't think anybody really does. But
No, honestly, I've just been saying that. The last build that I've done on when I did some filming last year, I'm listening to it and I'm like, how many times have I just said basically like you're your own worst critic
yeah,
for everything that you do, but the more you do it, the better that you get. So
exactly. Look, and some people won't be interested, and some people will probably look and think, well, that's stupid. But even if 5 or 10 people sort of watch and listen and that helps someone, then that is a positive thing.
yeah.
So obviously, I know you're really enjoying the welding, but do you kind of have any ideas or plans for the future?
I've got so many,
Yeah,
honestly. I just want to do everything that I possibly can. All within engineering. I'd like to do a bit of electronics, to be honest. Making something like a robot that could move. That's always kind of fascinated me. Um, and also going down the design route of it all. I did a little bit of CAD for my apprenticeship, but not enough to do like a full scaled project all by myself. but yeah, even in other industries as well, like there's just so much I want to do. But again, like
Yeah.
there's nothing but for talk myself out of it. There's a way to do everything. If I wanted it bad enough, I'd be doing it. But the more I think about it, I'll get it done. So I would really like to get some more qualifications, but like with what you're doing, I think the main bit of experience that you get is by doing it and by speaking to people.
Yeah.
I've learned so much speaking to different welders, like from different industries, like from shop floor up to management, like training, um, and it's just I don't know. It just depends if I want a certificate or not. Like I could go traveling and do different things and learn elsewhere. But I just don't know. There's too many options. Like I'm not sure.
It's difficult, isn't it? I did my 3-1 this time last year, and it kind of just I enjoyed learning again because I hadn't done anything since I left college. Hadn't done any math for 8, 9 years, wherever it was. I had to go back and basically on BBC Bite Size and learn GCSE math again before I started because I looked at the course and I couldn't make any sense of it whatsoever. But I kind of, once I did the 3-1, it just kind of, something inside me was like, I want to just keep going on and try and progress a little bit more if possible.
Yeah, and you did it. So
Yeah, so I'm still currently doing the HNC part-time through Teesside University. So
oh
that's
yeah,
kind of in my spare time and weekends and evenings. But,
yeah.
is welding inspection something you'd like to go into 3.1 or?
Um, I'm not sure. I've never been like someone with a pen in my hand. Like obviously when I'm doing my college work and stuff, I like to be doing it myself.
Yeah.
Like I don't like making mistakes, but I like learning from the things that I have done wrong or could have done better. And then having someone come and judge me and tell me like what I could do better. But I'm unsure. Maybe later on in my life. Um, but I don't know. I'm just really unsure at the moment.
Yeah, look, it wasn't something that I'd kind of ever planned on either, but I did the 3-1 and then it can be rewarding as well, especially when you're helping out younger welders who are kind of new to the industry and, oh, can you come and have a look at this? And, it's rewarding then as well to see them improve and to see them sort of taking pride in their work.
Yeah.
So it is rewarding in a different way, just maybe, not so physical then.
Mm. Yeah, when I've burnt myself out, I'll think about it then.
Yeah. Okay, so another thing I saw was the IET exhibition at the Savoy in London. Can you tell me a bit about that?
I know. So there was some. It's quite. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it really, but um, there was some awards going round like locally, and I wasn't expecting to be nominated for anything, and I wasn't. And I was going through my social media, and I'd seen this IET certain exhibition gallery thing for naming people who'd made an impact. And I was like, I'm going to nominate myself for this because people tell me all the time that, like, I've done this and I've done that, and I, like just good things to me. And I thought I'm going to nominate myself, and I actually made like the list. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, that was absolute shock of my life. I'd never been to London before either. Um, but yeah, so I was not named alongside like Elon Musk and people like that. So I was like, I should not be like anywhere near like this list. But yeah, it was really nice. Yeah, there's a picture of me in the stairwell at the Savoy for the Institution of Engineering and Technology. So that was like one of the best kind of smacks in the face I've ever had to like tell me that I'm doing all right.
Yeah, what was the actual ceremony like itself?
It was really good. So there was 95 people that was on this list, and then obviously the guests that you brought. There was like a little stage. I had to go on and be a panelist as well. They asked me if I wanted to go on stage and like be questioned and stuff. So I did that. It was really nice. Just again, just meeting other people within the STEM industries, engineering. I met a couple of people that through that I've been like following on social media for a long time. So it was just surreal, to be honest. Then I got to go see my little picture that was in the exhibition. But yeah, it's just ridiculous, like the places it's taken me. My life's proper done a flip in the past 5 years, since I've been welding, and I'm just so happy about it. Like I've genuinely done something worthwhile with my life, and I've not really done that before. So finally making mum proud.
Work then? Have you sort of worked all in different places on different sites at all, or?
It's more just the opportunities that's come my
Yeah,
way. Like I've been on the cover of the Welding World magazine. Um, I got asked to do
yeah,
that TV thing, Woodland Workshop, every Tuesday, 9 o'clock, Quest. It's the last one tonight though, but I am on there. It's my build. Um, and I make some really good things for some amazing people. So they'd be nominated for what they've done in the community. Really like worthy people. And I've met some like really good people who are on TV quite often. Um, but just things like that, I'm like, are you sure you want me? Like, I'm usually asked to tone myself down everywhere that I go, but they wanted like me, like myself, other than the swearing. But I do quite well without that now. Um, but yeah, it's just really good.
it's normal to get imposter syndrome, or I think everybody gets a little bit of that at times anyway.
Mm. Yeah, you just need to take a step back and think, if all these people are saying this, like from an outsider's perspective, get out of your head and just look at the impact that you have made, like around you. So,
Yeah, so would you say mostly the experiences you've had within the industry have been positive then?
yeah, obviously there is a bit of like bad that comes with it, and that's just like people's opinions. Like I say, they're not you. They don't know why and what you're doing. Um, I mean, you can't stop every time a dog barks, can you? So you can't like take everything to heart. That's like their perspective. It's not yours. Um, but yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. If you're helping somebody else, I don't see what the problem is. Like,
Oh, exactly. So, if you had to give one piece of advice to somebody coming into the industry now, what would that be?
your elders, like the old boy in the corner, go and talk to him. He'll know a lot more than I say a lot more than any book, but everything's online now. But yeah, just speak to everyone, be a sponge. Don't think that you know everything, because trust me, you change one little thing and you do not know what you're doing. But yeah, just keep learning. Always keep learning.
Yeah, the thing is, look, no matter how much you think you know, you always move on to a different process or a different material. And then, as we briefly spoke about earlier, it's like starting again then, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's similar but completely different, and it'll throw you off a bit, but that's where you need to like calm down and like start from scratch.
Yeah, so another thing I've kind of briefly been speaking to my guests about is mental health in the workplace. It's something that's been, well, certainly from a personal point of view, sort of at certain times, it can be very hard, especially working long hours or working away from home. How do you find mental health within the industry?
um I'll say that I did used to suffer, but for quite some years, but just recently it's done like a complete flip. I think it's changed. Like I've changed my mentality and how I think about stuff. Because you're in your mask all day, you're on your own, you've got your own thoughts going around your head
Yeah,
constantly.
yeah,
Um, and we all do this stupid thing where we compare ourselves to other people, and you should never do that. I mean, just look back at your own life and see how far you've come. There's always going to be bad days and things like that. Like nothing's fantastic all the time, but it's like yin and yang. There's always a little bit of good and there's always a little bit of bad. It's just what you focus on. It's your perspective. Um, but yeah, just take it as it comes. Do something. I mean, if you are feeling bad or whatever, do something that makes you smile. Um, get yourself out, like go for a walk or something. But you can't avoid it. I mean, if it's there, it's there. But you can get better with it. So yeah, just keep going. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, look, I think the thing with me is routine and fitness. That always helps me, as you said, whether it's going for a walk or run or go to the gym for an hour, and routine is always a good thing. Find once I drop out of a
Yeah,
good routine, then kind of you can, as you said, you spend a lot of time on your own as well. So you can be under
yeah,
the microscope. It's not easy, is it? And especially if you're burnt out, tired, it is quite a physical, demanding industry at times. Don't get me wrong, it's a very good industry, and exactly as you said, only taking positive things out of the industry, but it can be difficult as well.
yeah. It's life. It's
Obviously, I
good and
know you
bad.
said you have lots of things planned, but if you had to set yourself one goal at the moment, what do you think that would be?
Um, See, it used to just come to me straight away, but I don't know. I do want to do a bit of traveling, I think. I've got my sister in
Okay.
Australia and I've been offered a job over there.
Yeah.
So it's tempting, but I couldn't work in that heat. I want to go to Germany. That's like the number one engineering country.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. It sounds dead thingy, but I've already kind of done like the things that I was like sat in college thinking, oh, I wish I could do this. I wish I had this or whatever. And I've pretty much done it. Always wanted to work with the biggest and best welding company, and I do. Um, and I could choose as well. I had two of them wanting to work with me, obviously competitors, and I had to choose, and I'm very happy. You'll know by all my posts, everything that I wear is the same colour. But yeah, it's just like it always just like shocks me that I have done the things that I'd like to do. I don't know. Every day I know that I don't know much. Every day I learn something new. So just keep learning, to be honest. I've always liked the idea of having my own welding school, but it wouldn't be a normal welding school. I'd go and get all the bad kids, like out of youth
Okay.
offenders and stuff,
Yeah.
give them a second chance to do something. Because once you've got a trade, that's it. Like it opens your mind. You get different ideas for doing other stuff. You can be more self sufficient, knowing how to fix things, make better decisions. Um, but yeah, there's just I just want to help like somebody else, like just to do a bit better in the life. Because I think back to my old boss putting me on the apprenticeship. If he hadn't done that and given me a chance, like not knowing anything, I wouldn't be where I am now. So
Okay.
yeah, that's it. Sometimes you think it's a mistake or like oh no, I can't do this, and actually it might have been doing you a favor. Like so,
Yeah, look, you never know where life's going to take you, and you never know what's next, but things always kind of show up at the right time, don't they? I find. I certainly believe in that.
yeah, if you're putting some work in, you find that it starts working for you.
Exactly. Sort of, what about NDT? Is there anything you've ever thought of? Any sort of NDT qualifications or?
I'm not sure. Like I do not know, honestly. There's too many things that I'd like to
Yeah,
kind of ponder with and like mess with just to see how I find it. But I really don't know. Like I'd like to invent something as well. There's just
yeah.
there's too many things.
No, exactly. Well, I think everybody would like to invent something, especially something successful. That would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I have got some good ideas, and I find that I said one a couple of years ago, and it's been made like
Okay.
recently. So keeping them to myself at the moment.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, anything that can be a help to other people or help people learn, like that's the one.
Yeah, what do you
Um,
think the best piece of advice you've ever been given in the industry? Anything that kind of sticks out to you that somebody told you when you was an apprentice and you still kind of think about to this day?
when you TIG welding, get comfy. I don't
I
know.
think that's kind of half the battle with any welding. Once you set yourself and you're comfortable and you feel like you're not overreaching then it kind of gets a lot easier then, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's your body control, your body movement. I mean, we get tired. We've been up since the crack of dawn, running on coffee and Red Bull and whatever else. But yeah, just get yourself comfy and always think like you've got to prepare yourself. Um, like and just keep asking questions. I always say to the apprentices, If you've already asked me, I don't care. Just come and ask me again. I don't feel that you pestered me, and it's not a stupid question. I've regretted saying that a couple of times, but
And they keep coming back.
generally, yeah, generally they're not stupid questions.
How do you learn? Do you watch YouTube videos, as you said, read books, or do you just seek advice from others?
I watch other people welding. I'll question them. Why are you doing that? Why are you holding your torch like that? Why are you doing this? Like, what's your gas at? Like, do you change it? Why have you got these settings on like this? Um, and then go and do your research as well. Like YouTube videos is a really good one. Weldingtipsandtricks.com. That's Jodie Collier. And then there's the welding community on Instagram is amazing. Like you got Dabs Wellington, obviously Barbie the welder. There's a few others as well. There's one that passed away that was my main kind of help. He was a welder from Italy and he's absolutely amazing. There's like a mural for him. But yeah, just the welders on Instagram, honestly, if you've got any questions, it's like really good. They'll always help you. There's some really good videos on there, learning ones as well. And they'll explain things to you. And want to see your progress as well. So that's probably why I am a bit how I am. Because when I started out on Instagram, I'd be questioning these people, and the responses that I'd get, it kind of embedded in me like, you've got to give this back. Like when you know some stuff, be like who you like wanted and needed at that time. So
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, the internet is such a good tool to help learn and to research and other things, isn't it? It's never something I ever really learned. Personally, I kind of just learned off other people, but maybe Instagram was like a little bit before my time when I was an apprentice. But I certainly have, there are videos and stuff on YouTube which I've watched before, especially
yeah,
if you're learning something new and you just kind of want to have a little bit of knowledge before you start.
yeah, they do a podcast as well. So if you've got headphones um, on Spotify and things like that, so I'd listen to them as well. But yeah, really worthwhile as well. Yeah, it's all on there.
So another thing that I've been asking my guests is just to tell me a funny story from the industry, something that comes to mind.
Okay, this is my favourite. So when I was working at Alpha, I think I'd been there about I don't know about 6 months maybe. We had an old boy and he was like nearly 80, and he was still welding and he was mint. Um, and me and this guy switched bays. And I was there welding away in my own world, doing my job. And he comes up behind me and punches me in the back. I don't know if that's how they say hello to each other or something, but I swear to God, he winded me. And I turned around and it was just a look on his face, like that was enough for me. He was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." I was like, "John, it's fine, like, don't worry." He's like, "I thought you were Liam." And I was like, "Oh right, like, will he give you one back?" But yeah, he was so lovely. He retired. He did. I think it was like early. No, it was just before COVID, I think. But yeah, I'll never forget that. That was so funny.
So yeah, how was COVID for you? Did you work through COVID or?
Well, I tell you, I went to Australia in at the end of 2019, and I come back for 11 days, and then I was furloughed for about 12 weeks. So I had a lot of time off. I did. I was getting
Yeah,
so bored. Um, I think that was when I finished all my college work, all my apprenticeship work, sitting at home. And then when the NSEG, so the training company, because I went to Stoke-on-Trent College, and I also had to do work with NSEG as well, like them extra bits to prove that I could do it. When they opened up, I was straight back in, finishing all my work off. But yeah, I think I just focused on my fitness, to be honest, and my cooking and baking and stuff. So I kept myself busy. But yeah, it was quite bad because obviously in a factory you're working on top of each other sometimes, like depending on what area you're in. You're right next to each other, and there was nothing put in place at the time to obviously safeguard people from air because you know what I mean. Like you went so far with each other. But yeah, I'm glad that's kind of gone.
yeah, it was just a strange old time, wasn't it?
Yeah, Yeah, right, bad.
because we were kind of working and it was obviously all separate, and then they would come in and clean the cabins between days and nights so that new people could move into the cabins. It's just all, if you was to tell somebody in sort of 20, 30 years, I feel like they just think it was a really strange thing that happened, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've got my opinions on it, like everybody has, but it was just so stupid. Like,
Yeah, look, I just think it wasn't a great time for anyone really, was it? But
no, no,
at least that's all gone now.
yeah.
So obviously you said you're currently working on this new stuff. Do you have anything else lined up after that that you're aware of, or just
Um,
concentrating on the TIG welding for now?
I'm just going to concentrate on my TIG welding for now. I think I've mastered MIG. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
anybody can MIG weld. Um, but yeah, I mean, you've got to switch it up a little bit from your jobs, what you do in different thicknesses, going from like stainless to mild, even a bit of alley MIG welding now and again. Um, but yeah, I prefer TIG welding so much. It's such a nice process. It's just like the profile of it all, the outcome of it, it's dead nice. So yeah, I do prefer that. Well, when I did my apprenticeship, I started on TIG welding at college. Even though I was MIG welding at work, my first unit was TIG welding. So that really kind of I was thrown in the deep end at the start. So like it just you just adapt to it. So um yeah, I mean it is tricky because it's your coordination and stuff like that. Um it's like riding a bike though. Once you've got it, you've got it. Um But yeah, I mean, it can be tricky if you don't prepare. Like you've got to read your drawing and check what you're doing, what they want, the customer requirements and things like that. But that's where you talk to your team, like the people that you work with, people who've been doing the job for longer. Don't feel bad about asking questions. They needed to at some point. So, but yeah, I mean, everything's tricky at first, and if it's not, then you're a genius. Like, don't feel bad about it.
I think exactly as you said, it's just about getting comfortable and building confidence as well, because the more you do something, the more confident you become, and then it just gets naturally easier then, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I can remember kind of passing my first coding and then being on top of the world and then sort of failing my first bet and then being down again. And you kind of just build yourself sort of confidence slowly from there on then.
yeah, that's it. You fall off your bike, get back on it.
Yeah, exactly. No, well, thank you very much for coming on. It's been great to speak with you. Obviously, we've been missing each other for the last couple of weeks. I've been on holidays. But yeah, I'm hoping to get quite a few of these booked in over the next few weeks, and then the first episode is actually out this week as well.
Yes, well, I'll be watching that. Asking me any kind of chat about this, anything like that. I'm always interested in doing. Someone's going to listen to it and be like, oh well, you know, whatever. Like, and take some positive from it. So it's always worth it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll put your Instagram and LinkedIn in the comments. So if anybody does want to reach out to you, anybody
Yeah.
listening or watching this, and it's going to be on Spotify and YouTube. So hopefully, some people listen to what you say because you speak so positively about the industry, and it's great that you've had such a positive experience. Because there is a lot of people do complain about the industry and say, well, as the podcast is named, the game's gone. If I had a pound for every time I heard someone say that, I'd probably be rich. I wouldn't
I
have to go to
know.
work. But, I've only ever had positive experiences in the industry myself.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few questionable things, but I mean, it swings and roundabouts. You could work in a chippy and like things could go wrong or whatever. But it's what you make it. It's what kind of person you are. Um, like I say, just be thick-skinned, only care about what you think. Um, take the good with the bad. There's always going to be something or someone that doesn't agree with you. And that is what it is. Like, just keep moving and do what you're doing. So.
Yeah, what do you think, we can do better in the industry? Obviously, promoting it in a positive light helps with that, and that's something that you do online.
Yeah, just talk about it, like any experiences that you've got. But you can only change yourself. You can't change other people around you. Like you can try and influence them by just being you, but like people have really outdated, old-fashioned thoughts still.
Yeah.
And you're never going to change that, like never. It's embedded in some people, but why do you care? Like, just it's one of them, like, only care what you
Yeah.
think. So
Look, the people who matter the most, as long as, you know, they're supporting you and as long as you have that support system, then sort of what some people think is just irrelevant, really, isn't it? You know,
yes,
and all we can do sort of as the younger generation is to try and help people coming through and to keep promoting the industry and do positive things. And then, you know, things can only get better.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, thank you very much for coming on and thank you very much for taking the time. Obviously I'll let you know once everything is finished and ready to go. But yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Anytime, anytime,
Yeah, will
anytime.
do. Okay. Thank you, Chloe. Cheers.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.